up about Galamsey, and I predicted that. I told you it will come up again. You see, one thing that the state has not been able to do is to deal decisively with the people who have been engaged in this rape of the state. The decisive move to deal with the actual people engaged in the raping of the state has not been done. So the impunity will continue because as a country, we eat dishonesty, we bath in sycophancy, and we drink, hypocrisy. As a country, that's what we do. That's what we engage in. And I've also told you that the very people leading the church to say we are helping you to fight Galamsey are the very people engaged in fighting Galamsey. Engaged in Galamsey, sorry. The people who claim to be helping you to be fighting Galamsey are the very people engaged in Galamsey. I told you. So now we have moved from the pollution of our water bodies. We have moved from the contamination of our cocoa. We have moved from the contamination of our lands and other things with mercury, cyanide, whatever chemicals. Now we are looking at the health implications. Look at that child, that Ibrahim Abubakar. Bring it back, take it back. Pause there. That child that Ibrahim Abubakar is interviewing. He's of school-going age, but he won't go to school. He's in the pit. And we know that Galamsey pits collapses. He's in the pit. Look at them. Children of school-going age. One is due for free SHS. This one I'm sure is due for free SHS. The other one is due for basic school. They are in the pit. So their future is at stake. Our water is at stake. Our exports are at stake. Danny, show me the picture of the yam. China does not have yam as a staple food. China. Today, China has been able to lead all of us astray, have come here to destroy all of our water bodies, and now they are planting yam to export. No, put it up. This is fresh yam from China. Produce of China, fresh yam. Look at it. So you'll be here thinking that, yam is a staple of Ghana, Nigeria, and a few African countries. And when we finish eating, our brothers and sisters who have traveled out there, we can export some to them, or those who are interested in trying something new, we can export to them. While we can't go to China to destroy their water bodies, they have come here with our tacit approval, our tacit connivance, our tacit support, our tacit collusion. And here they are. They are now producing yam in export quantity. So their yam can sell at £1 because that's what they do. They always sell cheap. And then you will export yours and be struggling to sell at £3. They are producing yam. We are importing cassava from China. Think about it. It is no longer diplomatic. I say China is producing yam and exporting in this quantity. And if you know the Chinese business model, when there's a Chinese product, it's always cheaper. So they have aided you to destroy your water bodies. They have aided you to cut your cocoa farms and whatever it is and turn them into Galamsey side. They have aided you in trying to shut you down. They have aided you in trying to even allow their Galamsey queen to go in and out and come back. Where is Aisha, one sister, the Rosewood queen, queen pin? Where is she? Since we started this whole conversation, have you heard people talk about it? And I say, look, elements within government are bringing this back again to take our minds off the key things that we've been talking about. The downgrade from CCC to CAA2. The worsening economic situation by the day, and the president's continuous refusal to reshuffle his team. The government is taking our mind off it. We have changed the curriculum for more than 3 years. We don't have textbooks for the children. Our minister is waxing lyrical at the UN General Assembly. He says our children are not assertive and the other. How do we get assertive children when the teachers and the headmasters themselves are not allowed to be assertive to speak? Can somebody who's not assertive raise another person who is assertive? Can they? So the talk must stop. This is one of them. Danny, flip the cocoa story for me. You know our cocoa is being rejected. And now we are told that, Mr. Paul Nkrumah, Information Minister, is trying to save the situation, engaging the European Union, talking about cocoa and coffee, bringing in the Ivorian situation and all of that. Look, when I raised the question about China producing cocoa, and they were mechanizing their farms, our Greek minister, that was his response. Nanado's beloved Greek minister, who he says is performing excellently, and that there's no other person to replace him. He says Chinese cocoa can't compete with Ghana's cocoa. Our Greek minister allays fears. That is our Greek minister. He said it with a broad smile. He said that Chinese cocoa can't compete with Ghana's cocoa. Our Greek minister allays fears. He said it April 22, 2021, last year. Remember, I said it here. I said it here. I asked that question. When that ridiculous comment about a bunch of plantain being 4 cedis, I raised that question. He said our cocoa can't be compared to that of the Chinese cocoa today. Can he say the same thing? Because Galamsey has destroyed everything. They see traces in all of them. Cocoa is our biggest export. I will always reference you to that farmer who says now he's cutting down his farm, the trees, so that he can mine. But the president thinks that, these are the beloved. These are the people who can help us deliver. Then he take me to cassava. When I talk about cassava, people say, see, we are importing cassava into this country. He said cassava imported from China, others is for industrial purpose, a Greek ministry. You are importing cassava. China is exporting cassava to you. The same China is planting yam, your staple. And you see, cassava is our staple. It's used for gari, it's used for fufu. Okay? Then you have your yam. It's used for many other things. Then you have all the things that you are latching on, which is your staple, which is your day-to-day menu, on your day-to-day menu list. They are now being produced by China, who has been able to lead you intelligently, because we have not proven to be intelligent, to destroy all our water bodies. So whatever monies you were getting by foreign exchange to strengthen our city has been taken away from us, sadly. And then they are now exporting to the markets that you would have exported to. And then at the end of the day, it comes back to zero. We have to go and borrow. That's where we are. Then when we say let the retirees go, you have old people trying to fight back. Mr. President, you met the retirees that you have put in charge of the state-owned enterprises. And your argument was that you had given them 4 weeks to bring you a report and find you the people who are complicit in raping the state. Last year, in 2021, was the year before, was 12 billion losses. This year is 17 billion. Last year, 17 billion. Mr. President, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that the team you have there, they are not performing. And in that room, when the people came, when they all came, you saw how old some of them were. How old and frail, how long it took for them to walk from one point to the other, even for a meeting like that. Finance Ministry is complaining that they are not submitting their accounts, audited accounts. They are complaining. Profitability zero. And the state-owned enterprises represent 50% of our national assets. They can't even give you 5% of GDP. What a shame. And you still are keeping them, Mr. President. And also, did I hear you say that, the board chairman should stop interfering in the work of the state-owned enterprises? How would they do that? Mr. President, you supervise the interference of Mr. Domelovo's job by the board chairman then. Have you forgotten? Professor Diageman, you supervised an interference of Domelovo's job. You, Mr. President, you supervised it. And even endorsed that the man should go. So the board chairman of the state-owned enterprise are learning from you, sir, respectfully. They are learning from you. They have now perfected the act. They are learning from you. And you say that, things must change. They must be profitable. The only way things can change is for you to change the leadership at the state-owned enterprises. The only way things can change is when you stop giving people by force lists to employ. The only way things can change is when you put round plugs in round holes. The only way things can change is when you put akunta and wafasinum in places that they are not qualified to be.